I'm going to talk a little bit about online in the BBC and maybe a little bit about what it means for Scotland. We're undergoing a really big change in BBC Online.
What I want to talk about is arts, culture, Web 2.0, Scotland. You know, you can rearrange those words in any different set of terms. I'm not really that bothered. Where I start with this is the fact that the Scottish Arts Council and central government together are going to give about £88 million into arts and culture this year.
And then I'm not going to do a big formal presentation. I'll much more have a conversation with people about where you're at and what you're looking for and what's there and what's not there in terms of business startup and support. Now, the model of social enterprise has been around for a long time, and many people say things like the co-ops for a long time are one of the original embodiment of that. But we now have a lot of government interest, both at Scotland and at the UK level, on the fostering and encouragement of growth of this as another business model, one where hopefully Scotland can excel.
I'm Arvind. I'm CTO at Matter Digital, based in Glasgow. Used to be Too Fluid. Anybody remember that? Maybe not. And what I'm going to be talking about today is building the new social web with a standards-based approach.
The headline of the change is that the budget is going to be cut by 25%. That's so we're all dealing with that at the moment. But it's what it's really allowing us to do is to focus the BBC's website and the BBC's online activity.
And the basic premise I have is that if we put bottoms on all of the seats in all of the arts events in Scotland, then the need for an £88 million subsidy would effectively be reduced. Okay? So it's an indirect equation. We're not saying cut subsidies to arts companies, because I believe in the arts. I want more arts. I want more arts companies. I want more arts companies doing more things. I want, blah, blah, blah. This is not an anti-arts rant. This is starting from a premise that says having empty seats in theatres makes no sense.
What I mean by standards-based approach is obviously we've had for a very long time now all these kind of rich internet applications. And these rich internet applications have been based in kind of Flash and to a lesser extent Silverlight. And as the kind of web's matured and as the languages have matured, we're now starting to move away from these proprietary systems and these custom browser plugins and looking at how we can actually do it with standards using the languages available in web browsers without any additional kind of plugins or add-ons.
When you read around the range of support that's available for digital media initiatives in Scotland, almost all of it's tailored for start-up and growing small and medium-sized enterprises. There are conditions around how long you've been trading, about how many people you employ, about your levels of turnover. And if you want to get people like Scottish Enterprise involved, they've got to be convinced that there's a long-term prospect of high-level growth.
We're going to be sort of really nailing down the technical and design standards for BBC Online. It's going to become a much more focused, much more efficient, much more joined up offer.
Old people are a lot of the people who go to the theatre and so on, and they don't like or understand and can't use computers. Like, that's about one of the biggest load of crap you've ever heard in your life, because it is the older generations who are the people who are now finding their way and leading the way and are doing the most exciting things, the most interesting things.
And we all know in digital media that the monetization, the making the money from it, is sometimes the trickiest aspect. But is there a germ of something that sees that there is a revenue stream, that there is something that can attract income, that there's services or goods or products that can be sold, that there is a genuine enterprise idea, a genuine business idea in here? It just happens to be not a private sector project.
We've looked at the things that are currently being done in JavaScript and in Flash and everything else, and trying to find a nice middle ground where we can work with developers, work with vendors, and try to get something that's easy and it's useful for everybody.
It was really useful and really nice to get back and meet some people who are doing different things with technology and just kind of get out of the day-to-day.
The kind of conversation that emerges at these things is very interesting, so you learn a lot as well. And it was quite techie tonight. I'm not really a techie, so I was stretching my band of understanding, but it was good fun.
I enjoyed it very much, yeah. I think it's been a very entertaining event, lively, and I think it's a good forum. It's a good way that it's structured, and that it's pretty open, and people have got a chance to discuss different issues and probably learn about things that, well, I certainly learned about things that I didn't know I was interested in the first place.